Good morning, friends. Welcome to Soul Steps with Dr. Ren, and happy Monday to you. I'm going to jump right in with this word today on gifts and fruits because I don't want to forget the lists. Although, I have been taught about the fruits of the Spirit for my entire life, but I don't really think I've ever been taught about the gifts of the Spirit. I don't know why. But so there are 7 gifts of the Spirit, and these are gifts that empower us to draw close to God and to grow. They're considered like the roots and the nutrients that go into the roots of ourselves so that we can produce the fruits of the Spirit. So the gifts of the Spirit, help me, Lord. Wisdom. I really had this list like 2 seconds ago. Okay, wisdom. Knowledge, that's 1. Oh, counsel, that's 3. Wisdom, knowledge, counsel. I know that reverence is 1. Fear of the Lord, that's another 1. Wisdom, knowledge, counsel. Understanding, that's 4. Wisdom, knowledge, counsel, understanding. Reverence and self-control. So I'm missing 1 of them. Okay, I'm going to go back and figure out the missing one because that's going to be the one I need to meditate on. I'm sure it's a good one too. And I'm sorry I can't remember it. But those are the gifts of the Spirit. And then, the fruits of the Spirit from Galatians, you probably heard that one and seen that one a lot. Love, joy, peace, or love, joy. I don't know if peace is 1. It should be 1. Patience, gentleness, kindness, self-control, chastity, maybe faithfulness. I'm gonna listen back and figure out which ones I'm missing. That's gonna be my challenge. Whichever ones I can't remember are the ones I need to work on. Anyhow, I think that contrast between a gift and a fruit is really important. The gifts are the ones that the Holy Spirit gives to us. The fruits are ones that come forth out of the process. Whatever process you're going through of spiritual development, how are you nurturing yourself spiritually? Now, I'm not going to lecture to you because I am not the boss of you. And also, you could have a completely different faith tradition and this may not be a part of it. But I don't really know a faith tradition that is counter to this. I'm not sure that there's a faith tradition that says you shouldn't have reverence for God. I think that's universal. Or whatever is the deity or higher power, whatever you want to call it. I don't know of any faith tradition that doesn't. I really like the definition of understanding. That was insight into the created world compared to wisdom, which is insight into the divine world. And that contrast of knowing the rightful value and place of things that are created. Sometimes we can worship things that are created and idolize things that are created, and instead of the Creator, which is folly, in my opinion. To sit there and worship, truly worship a tree. Worship a tree? I mean, you can have reverence for a tree. It might be a special tree. It could be a tree that your great-great-grandfather planted. It could be a tree that has lived for thousands of years. I stand in awe of old trees. And I'm picking trees because I love me some trees. In fact, if you want another book recommendation, there is a book called, I think it's called The Secret Life of Trees. I had so much joy reading that book. I might even reread it because it's so beautiful and insightful. It's like a lesson on humanity to understand how trees exist in community, how they communicate and connect with each other, and plants too. But I'm just going to focus on trees. And God bless you. Bless the driver. It's a MARTA driver, public servant, up early. You know, I had to digress a little bit, but just for a little digression, a little train deviation, thinking about if you've ever had to rely on public transportation, like I have at some points in my life, that is a whole experience. So yes, I'm praying for all the drivers and train operators that are going to be doing their jobs this morning, making sure people get to work on time, get to their doctor's appointments on time. I'm praying for y'all. And we pray for all the workers who are up early. I don't know why. You know, maybe you getting ready for a 7 a.m. shift and you work an hour away from your job. It has been amazing to me recently. I mean, the little bit later wake up makes such a difference in how many people are also awake. Very interesting. And the early people do not drive slow, for the record. They're driving fast. Okay, let me go back to the station, pick up my train of thought. So I do think, even though it comes from the Christian scriptures, that this message about the gifts of spirit and the fruits of spirit is applicable. I'm like trying to think of the ones I know about. I'm pretty sure this tracks. So, you know, I talked the other day about the cardinal virtues. Please do not ask me to tell you them again from memory, because it's not coming to me. This is why you have to study to show yourself approved. And this is how you know I'm not a theologian for real. I am just a person like you. I am just a regular human being trying to walk in the path that the Lord has for me. That's all I'm trying to do. And I am sharing my journey with you because the Lord told me to. So that's why this is called Soul Steps. I am walking, as I do every morning, for the past 80 days. So don't think I've been doing this for like decades, y'all. This is relatively new, but it's a habit now. Well, I guess when I get to 90 days, I can say it's a habit. But I'm working on building the discipline and consistency, because you can't build virtues haphazardly. You have to build virtues over time. And there are no shortcuts. And you know what else? There are no shortcuts to producing fruit in your life. Okay? I mean, you can be impatient and want to see the results, like whether that's a fitness journey, a health journey. We can get really impatient and say like, I ate a salad today. Why is the scale not moving? I've been there. Or we can say, I started doing devotions. Why am I still depressed? Okay, well, have you ever grown anything? Because I have grown some things. I'm going to tell you, let me not choose favorites, but tomato seeds are so cute. And I don't know how they are like naturally, but when you get them from like a grower, like an heirloom tomato, they usually come coated in like something white. So like cute little white round orbs. And, some seeds you need to like germinate. You would get like a paper towel, wet it, put the seeds inside, leave them under a little heating mat and a light for a couple of days. And then the seed breaks open. And then, you plant the seed and then you wait until it has like 2 little leaves. Those aren't like true leaves. They're just like fake ones that come up. And then so on and so forth. It's a whole process. And there's no rushing to it. This is why gardening, I think, is so therapeutic mentally, because it teaches you about just the nature of things. Nothing is short. And the best things of fruit comes through some type of strain or distress or pressure. Have you ever seen a butterfly come out of a cocoon? That butterfly is struggling to come out. I'm trying to think of anything that comes out easy. Nothing. Okay, animals when they're born struggle. Plants when they emerge forth from the ground, they have to push through the pressure of the earth. And this is not because God hates creation. It's just the nature of the thing that it requires some type of counter force in order to become what it is. I'm really trying to think of anything naturally or even man-made that comes now I'm not saying that there's not such a thing as ease of existence. I'm really speaking to the emergence, birthing, becoming. I can't think of anything that it can be born or become without some type of, even the whole universe started with a big bang. Everything was all compacted down into some super small infinitesimal starting point. And then boom, there was everything. So it's just the nature of the whole universe that we exist in. And that, I think, can help you to have some detachment and have some perspective when you are struggling with things, so that you can have you can hope. Oh, I saw a great definition for hope yesterday. That was like, hope is confidence in God's promises. It's like it's like faith that you place in the future based off of the promises of God. And like when I say I'm holding hope for you, which I took, by the way. I wish I came up with that, but I got that from my friends at NAMI. And NAMI does hold hope, but I actually personally got that from a family support group at Skyland Trail in Atlanta. They would always, the facilitator, shout out to the facilitators, they would always talk about when you would share, they would say, I'm holding hope for you. So listen, my whole career as a clinician, I have incorporated all of the best phrases, all of the best comebacks, because I had some incredible teachers in my life. Joe DiGiacomo was one of my favorites. He was a cool Italian man. He used to sail all across the world, and he taught me how to do clinical interviewing. And man, I gotta reach out to somebody to find out. He had hours and hours of tape recordings, and I used to beg him, Dr. DiGiacomo, can you let me have those recordings? I can transcribe them and write them down so that everything that you're teaching us, can be kept. And I think I got to reach out to Jeff Niemark. I feel like he was going to give it to Jeff, but he's gone on. I think he's passed now. He was really cool, adventurous. Anyway, he taught me how to do interviewing. And I have some videos of training videos where, he would just say, like, just use one word. Patient talks, and then you just have one word response. And it's very hard. As you can maybe imagine, I like to talk. I have a lot to say. But my one phrase that I would use a lot, still do, is wow. Because, man, wow is so versatile. You can say that a whole lot of different ways. You can convey a lot with that one word, wow. I have definitely derailed. And if you have been walking with me, congratulations, because it's been 15 minutes. So you are done for the day. That was a little happy detour. I don't know how I got there, but I really have no idea where I was going. This is what happens when you go on a soul journey. Maybe, I was talking to my friend about like this whole process, and like, because I'm gonna go back and make like a 3-minute, very sensible, very not circuitous highlight of what I just told y'all. But this is real. This one is me. This is how I flow. And this is what I do every morning. I have listened to my scripture. I have listened to my teaching. And I am walking and prayerfully walking and prayerfully sharing my insights with you. This is what it is. If you want to go on a walk with me and have some soul-filled steps, then you can hang out with me every morning. I'll be here in the rain, in the cold, when I'm tired, when I'm happy. And, we can do life together. I may know you. I may not know you. You gonna know me. If we keep walking together, you're gonna get to know me. Oh, I don't like ending in the dark, so I'm gonna make a little circle walk. Even though I feel like I could talk to you some more, because I figured out how to post on YouTube. I'm gonna walk some more, y'all, because now that I know that I can post the long videos on YouTube, that gives me the freedom, y'all. And then I make the short one for the other platforms. I really need to pick up that train of thought. Why did I start talking about Dr. DiGiacomo? I don't know. I'm gonna read the transcript and I'll put in the comments. In the description. I'm really not this disorganized when I write. This is just how I think. So now you know. But I'll just circle back to the fruits. And I think this is a very core message for today, that if you are struggling, to take courage, take encouragement from the fact that that is a step in the process of your becoming. Even if it's really, really hard struggle. I used to give a lecture on resilience, and I would talk about this one particular insect who I think is like native to like Alaska. It's this furry little creature that goes dormant when it's cold. Like, it eats just enough that it needs to survive the freezing season, and it basically does nothing for most of its life. But then when it's time, it will emerge from that state of dormancy and will break through and come alive, live its life. And so, some of you guys are going through some super hard times, really hard times. I'm in hard times, but this is not the hardest time of my life. A lot of people are like, oh, how are you with your mom? It must be so hard. Child, do you have any idea how much I love my mama? I love my mama so much that the fact that I get to see her every day, there is no hard in this entire experience. Is it hard if I meditated on the fact that she has cancer in her body and that cancer is going to take her life? I guess you could say the Lord has ordered her steps, so the cancer's not going to take her. The Lord's going to take her whenever the Lord sees fit. So maybe that's also it. I'm like, yes, she has cancer, but cancer's not in control. I have a friend who is laying her mother to rest today. I'm praying for her. Will you pray for her as well? Because I know it's going to be a hard day when I have to accept that the Lord has taken my mother on to be in eternity. But that day is not like this second, as far as I know. My mama's still breathing in her bed. And so there's nothing hard about me caring for my mother, you know. So, yeah, I'm blessed. Trains of thought are going in a lot of different directions this morning. So I am sorry about that, but I hope you caught something. Maybe, it's like, I'm not going to apologize for how the Lord made me, because the Lord made me this way. And if you're listening 20 minutes in, there's something catching your eye. So you may have caught the first part, you may have caught the second part, you may have caught the third part, but I hope you caught something today that inspired you to live a little better, to have a little bit more peace and joy in your situation, and to have a great day. I do hope that I encouraged you. That is definitely one of my goals, to encourage you, because, not everybody has somebody. You may not have had a parent that told you were good and loved and worthy. You may not have friends. You may be feeling super alone right now and feeling that nobody cares about you. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows your struggle. And I really do not want for anyone to feel that alone. And so if that's you, let me just say that I am praying for you, okay? And I am praying that you have a great Monday and that you have some peace in your heart today. That is my prayer. So I'm going to sign off for now. Remember to move your body with love and intention today. And I guess I'll give you a little tip. If you haven't been drinking enough water, it's cold outside, and I think we tend to not get as enough hydration when it's cold. So, if you're a coffee drinker, I recommend drinking water before coffee. That was how I started to get hydrated back when I drank coffee every day. Because you drink coffee now, it kind of saps your appetite and your thirst. So, drink some extra water today. And that is my health tip for you. And I hope that you have a great Monday. And I love you.